Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard 8th edition video. Today's video is again going to be something slightly different to the sort of endless unit reviews. Instead we are going to sort of take a look at a prospective list that I have put together for an upcoming tournament which I will be taking part in on the 24th, 25th. This weekend coming up. So the tournament is a team tournament, which means there's 4 players per team, and there's going to be 5 rounds, so I'm going to be playing 5 games. My team captain will get to hopefully pick who I play against. So essentially how it works is there's a when each team is matched up against each other, each team captain rolls off a dice, and he who wins gets to pick one of his armies and put it against one of his the opposing team's armies, and then the opposing team goes and they pick who they want to go against. So that's sort of what I'm and the missions will be very sort of classic sort of 40k. They're going to be sort of based around the 8th edition missions. They will be customized, but essentially the scenario of the mission is that it's going to be 8th of the tournament. It's going to be 8th edition. I don't know what I'm going to be facing. I will have to be taking a take all comers list. The one good thing about the tournament is they don't allow any army to be featured more than once in any team. So if you have an Eldar player, then you will not be none of the other, and if one of your 4 players in your team has Eldar, then no one else on that team will be able to take any Eldar units, not even allied. Each sort of faction can only be used once. So that's pretty good. So I won't be facing 4 Tau players, I won't be facing 4 Eldar players, I will be facing a mix. So that's sort of the format of the tournament, and because of this, and after my sort of 5 practice games, I've sort of come up with 2 lists, and I'm not sure which one's best to use, and I'll put both lists down. I'll put a link to them in the description, and I want you guys to tell me which list you think is better. Okay, so now I might be off by like sort of 5-10 points here and there because I might be strapping some storm bolters here and there, but generally these are the lists that I'm thinking of. So number 1 is sort of I'm sort of starting to call it my rule of 3 list. So where I take everything in 3s. So it's very symmetrical, and it is Pask in a Lehman Russ battle tank with las cannon and 2 heavy bolters, and then I have 2 tank commanders with battle cannons and las cannons and 2 heavy bolters. So that's my sort of rule of 3 battle tanks. Then I have 3 squads of conscripts, and I have 30 men in each squad. And then I have 3 squads of infantry with a heavy bolter, plasma gun, plasma pistol in each squad. Then I believe I have 3 squads of mortars. And to fill the elite choice, I have 3 commissars and a platoon commander or 2. And then I have 2 company commanders and a unit of rattlings, I believe. But essentially it's 3 tanks, 3 blobs of conscripts, 3 squads of infantry, 3 mortar teams, 3 sentinels, I should say, and sort of 3 commissars and some various officers. So that's list number 1. Now the reason I like this list is that I can basically put an officer and a commissar behind each one of the tanks, and then have it sort of so they're covered from snipers, and then have it so my conscripts of course go out along the front, and then the conscripts essentially take the first take the first wave or 2 of attacks. They pull back where they need to, so they'll probably last about 2 or 3 turns of close combat, whilst the infantry squads pour in plasma and heavy bolters, death, and the mortars obviously and the tanks help destroy basically what's hitting my front lines and also hit the stuff that's far away. So it's meant to be a very take-all-comers list. There's no stand-out sort of theme to the list. It's infantry and tanks, basically. Classic Guard. So that's list number 1. List number 2 is actually the one I'm leaning towards. Like, really leaning towards. It's Pask in a battle tank with las cannon, 2 heavy bolters. And then it's 3 company commanders. And then it's 3 commissars. And then it's 6 squads of 25 conscripts. Then it's 3 squads of Rough Riders. And then it is 3 Basilisks and a Manticore. So essentially what I've done, if you want to sort of know what the differences in the list are, is what I did is I swapped out my infantry squads for conscript squads and just balanced them out so they each had 25 in each squad. I swapped out one tank commander for 2 Basilisks, and I swapped out the other tank commander for a Basilisk and a Manticore. Oh, and I should say as well, I have an Astropath in the second list, and his sole job is to sit behind Pask and just cast the +1 armor save order on him every turn, because I saw one of my commenters use that tactic, and I thought it would look really good having a 2+ save on Pask. So that's the list. Now, I feel like list 2 has more units and more firepower, but it's less accurate, but it has more sort of overall, it's got more vehicles. You know, we're looking at sort of 3 proper vehicles in the first list to 5 in the second list. It's got more infantry. You know, we go from 120 infantry to 150 infantry. It's got Rough Riders in it, which are good for outflanking, give me that ability to get the line breaker easily. I can just slap down 30 wounds into line breaker. 3 squads of 5 models with 2 wounds each, so that's pretty good. So I feel like, but the second list is more fragile. So I honestly don't know which list to go for, guys. I'm really interested to see what you think. I mean, if you guys have got suggestions for like what you would take in general, then that's fine. I know some people are going to say take Scions, take Plasma Scions whilst you can. And I will, you know, I will be taking them at some point. But I really like the second list, and let me tell you why. I think the first list is very symmetrical and very competitive, and also it's got a bit of redundancy in there, because even if all my tanks die, I've still got my infantry squads, which have got plasma and heavy bolts in them, which can sort of chip in and do anti-tank. Whereas the second squad, things are very polarised. You've got infantry and big guns, and if your big guns are destroyed, your infantry have no dedicated anti-tank. So it's a lot easier for your opponent to pick things out. But I'm hoping the range and the ability to hide out of line of sight will help my second list. But the main reason I'm really keen on this second list is it's really like World War I style, real World War I themed. You know, with the infantry backed up by the masses of infantry backed up by the masses of artillery, and that's really cool. And I think we can all sort of have that sort of love affair with Imperial Guard being like a World War I style army. And you've literally got like cavalry on horseback, and you've got artillery, and you've got masses of infantry led by officers, and you've got like one tank, because they're a pretty rare kind of thing. So I really feel like it's a very World War I style list, which is a big hard on for me. But honestly, guys, I can't decide which one I should take. I'm leaning towards, you know, the second list, but the second list has a lot more units in it which aren't tried and tested. You know, I haven't used Manticores yet. I haven't used an Astropath yet. You know, I'm not used to taking such a polarized list. Whereas my first list, the rule of 3 list, I have taken that in 4 games. I've taken 3 tanks backed up by 3 squads of conscripts by 3 squads of infantry. I've taken that in 3 or 4 games. So I know that combination works. But I'm trying to improve upon that combination with list number 2. And I'm trying to see, I really want to know if artillery is going to be properly effective. you know. And the only way to really find out what is good in 8th edition is to go trial by fire 5 tournament standard games. So please, please, please tell me which list you guys prefer. The World War I starred list or the Rule of 3 list. So I'll put them down in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'm really interested to see what you guys think. See you guys next time.